Brutus Magna here. I've got a fight, Rome, Legio 12, Egyptia versus Armenia, the Eyes of the Serpent. This one unit, plus 4,400 reinforcement allies, the Manticore's Claws and Garrison Army. I was sieging Seleucia, and I had to withdraw because they brought in this extra unit, and this is the battle that resulted from that. I've got some pretty well-trained units, some Praetorians here, pretty well-trained, some Legionaries, some Vigiles, some Pallades, some Levies, and some well-trained Egyptian archers there. And my general there is a cav unit. The enemy, the Armenia, brings obviously a lot of cav of all different kinds, and I have not really been used to fighting so much cav before. I haven't got to this part of the map before in the Grand Campaign. So I actually fought this once, and I died dismally, and I thought, no, I want to do that a bit better. I tried it again, and I still die, but I think I do a pretty good job actually at defending. But this time I chose to set up in a box formation, kind of like this at the top of the hill, at this corner of the map. The enemy is going to come from over that side. So just again, I've got the Praetorians, the archers, the Vigiles, and the general. While that's sort of setting up, because I could only really put my men over here, so I sort of had to do the setup during the battle, and I had plenty of time because they were coming from this side. And we can have a look what they're bringing in. So they got the Persian cavalry. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on just on sort of medium fast forward. Yeah, put it on medium fast forward. Eastern cataphracts, Royal cataphracts, Persian cavalry, horse archers, Eastern spearmen. And then a lot more. They bring in a bunch of horse archers. We'll see armored, like 3 units of armored horse archers. Here's some armored horse archers over here. They've got some axemen, and there's some hillmen. Here's another Persian cavalry, small spear units coming in. They bring in some elite archers and some more armored horse archers, some slingers. The mob comes in. So here's some mercenary hillmen, some more eastern spearmen. It just keeps coming for a while. We can have a look at the troops, where they all go. So they come in. I've never really fought so much cavalry before. I did do a bit of fighting of Royal Scythia and their cavalry, and that was kind of a bit different. But this cavalry is quite a bit tougher than what I had fought. There's some shock cavalry in here, and yeah, it's just a lot of them. These are their archers, obviously, various kinds of archers, and some slingers maybe around here somewhere. More archers. So all of this is coming up towards my position up here on the hill. Let's just have a quick look at it. It's kind of set up now. So what have I got? I've got my Praetorians across the front. I've got Legionaries on either flank, and then I have Vigiles along the back. I'll explain that in a minute. I've got down the front here, I've got velades and levies. Levies along the side, levies along the side there. I've got my archers along the back, basically all set to fire at will. Some of them firing out along the sides, most of them firing just straight forward. I've got this gap here because, as you'll see, and as I've found, if the horses manage, the cav managed to charge through the front line and hit the archers, if the archers were right here and the cav hits them, then the archers stop firing. They take out they're going to melee combat, so they take out their swords or whatever and start attacking. So that's not very good. You really need these archers to be firing all the time. You can see them even. I'm sort of trying to create a gap a bit. There's not much of a gap here, and you'll see what the effect of that, not having much of a gap there. Trying to make sure there's some spacing. I don't want them to be too far back because, I do want them to be able to fire down the hill. But you'll see what happens there. Now with the Vigilese, I have tried before to put Vigilese, in a box formation, in sort of square formation on the corners here. And indeed in the four corners, I had 4 Vigilese. I could have done that. I've done it. And what happens is that they, while they're good at bracing against charges, they die to missile fire. Missile fire just kills them off, and they're a waste. Putting them in the corner like that just wastes them. They die pretty quickly and they run away. The idea here is that they're in the back. They don't take a lot of attention at the beginning of the fight. They're pretty thick. If the enemy did bring a cav unit around, well, they're going to stand up to it. And what you can do after the beginning of the fight, you can bring them around like that to outflank. See, I try that. And you could bring them, if you had to, you could bring them through to reinforce. I think I do a bit of that too during the battle. So that's the strategy. So the archers are just facing down the hill. They're going to be firing that way. These levies are firing out there, kind of firing that way. The velades are also firing downwards. I've got these guys sort of set up firing out that way. They're all on fire at will, no skirmish. So the enemy's sort of making its way up now. Eastern cataphracts and Persian cavalry coming in here. I think the Persian cavalry are the first ones to attack. Get a little bit more look at what came up at the end. Some armoured horse archers, a few more spearmen units, eastern archers, eastern slingers, eastern slingers, eastern archers, some mob coming out of the shrub there. So, I wasn't sure exactly if I set up on the hill, where do I get the hill advantage? Do I get the hill advantage here? Do I have to be here to get the hill advantage? The mousing over the terrain doesn't tell you the slope of the hill, so I think I'm getting a hill advantage here. If I had put it down in the hill, I might have got some forest advantage, but I think I might have been giving up the advantage on my flank, so I wasn't quite sure. I might try it again someday, put the square formation into the forest where the hill is steeper and see whether that comes out better. Here we'll see the advance of this cavalry that come up here. Here they come, and they take all the missile fire from what I have, and you'll see the effect of that coming in here. In fact, that cavalry unit didn't even make it to the front line, but now they're bringing up, they've got some of their own missile fire. Here's their horse archers, not horse archers, skirmishers I think there. They've got some more cav coming in, and this cav does make it to the front line. see it makes it through the front line and into my Velades. Now those Velades have stopped, some of them have stopped firing. They're now in melee combat. They've got the daggers out, so that's why I'm saying, you know, if my archers were there, my archers would be getting killed. But having a bit of a gap just helps absorb that. So the cavalry coming here, they come in a lot on this flank. They're bringing a lot of troops up. A lot of missile fire comes in on this flank. These legionaries are being attacked by the Royal Cataphracts. The legionaries are doing a good job, but they're obviously being overwhelmed. So I have already sort of pushed my Vigilese around a bit. I'm bringing these other Vigilese around to try to outflank a bit, but also because we've got these armoured horse archers, and I actually did try to scare them off, as you see. They're taking a lot of missile fire now themselves. So I bring them in to try to hit these horse archers, but they obviously run off, and I didn't want my Vigilese to go too far, so I halted them. But now you'll see, I mean, there's this Persian cavalry that comes up to attack me. We'll see that, come back to it. On this side, you know, there's not too much happening. They do come up with a full advance with the hillmen, but you know, sort of holding off. And the front line is still holding kind of well. They're now bringing in their Persian Hopelties, axemen, and so on. So the Vigilese were out here. They got charged by those Persian cavalry, and they were kind of stuck. So I put those guys in square formation.
Form square formation.
In square formation, they last pretty long. They're pretty good there. They're not taking missile fire. See, a lot of missile fire is going towards the legionaries and the levies that I have back there. Some of their Royal Cataphracts have got through to my levies. I didn't have as much of a buffer as I would have liked to have had there. So the levies are no longer really firing, as you can see. They're just engaged now. The front line, the Praetorians are holding out well against the pikemen there. Bringing out more of those levy spearmen, eastern spearmen, sorry. I guess I am getting the hill advantage here. You can see I should be getting it. So it's looking kind of good. I brought my Vigilese around here. You can see I'm pretty much using all my Vigilese now, moving them all around to help out these legionaries that have thinned out quite a bit, and just to help contain this area. I'm bringing my legionaries down now a bit more. I think I put them out of formation so they can really attack in here. So the formation is still sort of holding. I've got another set of Vigilese in here. Here's my initial set. Still steady, still fresh. Alright, holding out like heroes here on the field amongst these cataphracts. Another set of Vigilese in square formation of some kind. And then these Vigilese back here that I brought around, the legionaries are still holding the line. And I've got some Velades, probably the levies, they ran out of missile fire. My archers have still got a lot of fire. But what I am starting to receive now is a lot of fire from these armoured horse archers that are sitting back here. There are other archers back here and their slingers are really doing a lot of damage. My Praetorians weren't doing much at some point. You know, they're just sort of holding the line but not really attacking. And eventually I used them, to try to hit the archers down there, which is kind of a bit of a mistake.
Yes, Commander!
In fact, I'm doing that now. I sort of thought I was going to get rid of those archers. They do manage to scare the archers away. The archers take a few hits in the back and so on, but the problem is once you've marched your Praetorians down this far, down the hill, they're then on their own, and now they're getting hit by the cavalry, and they can't go too far, or they're going to get caught out. So eventually I've got to stop. When I stop and try to bring them back up the hill, then the guys that they just scared away can get the reverse attacks. It's kind of a bit of a problem. I did bring a lot of my Praetorians down to try to do that. Brought my general forward. And eventually I have to bring my general down there as well to help these Praetorians, because I got 34 Praetorians there, I got 23 there. They're doing an okay job, and they're now holding up. I'm getting some bonuses in on them, to help them out, but they're up against the Persian cavalry. Look at this cavalry fall, 12, 11, 10. Now they're shaken, they're wavering, they're gone. So, but my own Praetorians are kind of wavering. They do come back, I think. Pretty much my formation is gone now. Still got these Vigilies standing in their square formation there. Those seconds, they're doing kind of well. And, when I looked at this battle, you can see there's a lot of their units, like their spearmen here, are wavering, they're going away. The armoured horse archers in there, all what's behind it, are giving up. Those guys, the hillmen, have given up. Over here, those Persian hoplites are giving up. Over here, their eastern spearmen are giving up. I still do have those Praetorians, I think. 20 Praetorians there. 27 Praetorians. I brought down my Velades to help out. Got my general down there helping out. And I thought I was doing well. And a lot of their units are giving up. I thought, wow, I'm going to win this. But then what happened was, unfortunately, this group of Praetorians started wavering. Eventually they start wavering, and very shortly they start wavering. See, what the enemy has left is really just a lot of missile units. They've run out of a lot of their heavy units are done. But my Praetorian starts, they only got 10 Praetorians left. Unfortunately they got surrounded. And these Praetorians started wavering and giving up, and look at this. Bang! My entire army starts wavering. It just gives up all at once. Even I've still got 35 Praetorians there. And the Praetorians, they just go, it's all gone. It's all over. So I thought I had a chance of winning for a second. It says close defeat. You can see my guys fought down pretty much to the last man before they gave up, and I guess it was right to withdraw at that point. I did get about the same number of kills, a little bit under 2,000 men less than what I was being attacked by. It was a very defensive position. I think it worked. Probably could try it again and might get it to work a bit better.